Welcome to the iBuyer experiment. We have some juicy stuff to talk about today. So, Open Doors CEO was replaced.
I know.
What
Wow.
is the skinny?
Not only is he CEO,
That was surprising.
founder, right? Obviously I think there was 5-6 co-founders or whatever it was, but I mean, he's a massive thought leader in that space. And I mean, you go IPO and quote unquote sell out that board can
And
take
we-
control.
But
We
they
are
spun it. They spun it, right?
Yeah, well, we're
It's-
talking about Eric Wu, just for those of you
Oh,
that
yeah,
we didn't say his
kinda
name.
jumped on
So, one of the co-founders and the former CEO of Open Door, Eric Wu, was replaced.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, he's probably one of the top 2-3 names in the entire iBuyer movement.
Yes.
He is a big ass deal.
Well, it's funny because Jason and I talk about this a lot. Like, truly, in the capital markets and in the venture capital world, Keith Raboy is the name. He's the one that funded Open Door and really put that together. But yeah, from a real estate industry perspective and from like what the real estate industry knows, it's Open Door. It's Eric Wu.
Yeah. Well, and he's the point man for so long, right? I mean, he's been on so many stages, the thought leader. I mean, he also had an amazing background, a great resume that what was it, the apartments.com or something like that spearheaded. So anyways, I have to admit personally, I'm still super shocked that happened. I really am. I mean, again, I get it that with the massive losses and buying the market the way that they were, and clearly the board is not happy about losing almost $1 billion in quarter three. But
Hey, it was kind of excessive.
The rapper Eminem said it best: "Stay at the top as long as you can, and then when your run's over, just admit it." Hey, kudos to you, brother. You helped change the industry. Hey,
And I also was reading an article that he bought a beautiful $30 million Bel Air estate.
I heard that too.
So he's.
Are you serious?
He's
Yeah.
pretty happy right
Yeah,
now. I'm
he
sure.
did.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, dude. Well, when
It's like all glass. Like this place is sick.
Hey,
I remember like his salary was like $400,000 or something like that when they IPO'd, and then so he obviously they took a massive payday when they IPO'd, and I mean what Jay, you probably remember, what was their original IPO, like 25 billion or something? It was pretty high.
I don't know, man. Yeah, he I think he sold some stock.
Yeah.
Well, it was a SPAC, so
Yeah.
it's a little different. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely, the valuation was massive.
Yeah, it was way up there.
But it's
So-
kind of tanked right now, so it's
Oh.
like under $2 billion, so
Yeah.
1.3 or something.
It's buy time. I am not giving stock advice. I am not a securities person, but
but buy Open Door.
buy Open
I
Door,
think
buy
it's
OfferPad.
yeah. I
Yep,
agree.
absolutely.
OfferPad too.
Yeah,
I
start
was-
dipping your toe.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, I actually think that the capital markets react so quickly to news and to information. And then when it comes to
fast.
the real estate stocks, real estate is more of a long-term asset. And so to have these like quick reactions to real estate stocks is actually a massive disservice. So we also know that Blackstone came out and said, hey, we're going to limit the withdrawals from the fund. And I think that is because they're looking at this as a different type of asset class. And we can't have the liquidity that we normally do in most other stocks. And so I think it speaks to what's happening with the institutionalization of real estate and with Wall Street being involved. And it does kind of, paint the picture of, wow, if these levers can be dialed so quickly and so dramatically, that could massively impact our housing stock.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good insight what you just shared there, because, again, kind of keeping it simple and peeling it down, what she just said on that, like these are trendsetter people, and if we're watching the curves of what they're doing, us that are practitioners in the industry, right? Like we have opportunities to look at these, troughs and crests that go in the industry, and we have an opportunity to play on that, right? And with them peeling back, actually the acquisitions that they are, and I know we've been talking about this the last couple of weeks, there's a certain amount of transactions that are still going to happen, right? So now's the time to start thinking about targeting some of those, investors. People are still going to buy. There's still obviously 1031 exchange, all those types of things. And when you could buy a property that's now going to be potentially down in value, but rents are still fantastic, I'm going to say that there's still going to be a really good market for all of that out there. I mean, there's 20 million or how many rental properties are there in America? 20 plus million, right? Of non-owner occupied properties, where 8% of those are owned by the mom and pop investor. That is a overwhelmingly huge pool of where it's at. And everybody wants to talk about the institution always because they are the trendsetters, they have the most money, et cetera. But I guess just peeling it back, this is that time of year where it's goal setting, business planning, projection. I just want to encourage everybody to think bigger, right? And it's not all doom and gloom out there. I know that was one of the things we were talking about, pre to the podcast, is some people's mindsets are a little down right now. And I'm going to challenge you that now is a time to step up and shine, lay into that throttle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, clearly, JP Morgan doesn't think that the housing market is going to crash. They just announced that they're doing a $1 billion fund. They're going to start buying single-family rentals in Atlanta. They're starting with a 400-unit single-family rental community. So if you think the housing market is going to crash, then you're betting against JP Morgan. And I don't know that that's a bet you want to make.
I wouldn't bet against JP Morgan.
I don't think I would either.
I mean, JP Morgan is, again, one of the founders, ultimately of America, right? Like, they're part of that whole movement of, what was it? The fathers of, what is that show that's on history?
The Men Who Built America
Yeah,
or
there
something.
you go.
That's such a great show.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have included some women. It's like, why?
The women who built America.
We couldn't even vote then, all right?
Miss Vanderbilt.
Miss Vanderbilt.
But yes, that was an amazing show.
Miss Ford.
I think Elliot probably watches it like every weekend. Just give
Wow.
himself a boost. No, just kidding.
I am not a sexist.
I know, I'm teasing. But wait, let's go back to Open Door. So I think that it is important to note that Eric Wu is remaining at the company. He is now the president of their marketplace. And so Open Door's shift is to their asset light marketplace, which is the Open Door Exclusives platform. If you're not familiar with Open Door Exclusives, it's probably because it's still a little obscure. They're only operating in 3 markets, Dallas, Houston, and Austin. And what this will allow a seller to do is get a cash offer on their home, and then they can place their listing of their own home on the Open Door Exclusives platform for other buyers in the Open Door ecosystem to make an offer on. So it's kind of interesting. And then, of course, any homes that Open Door acquires, they will also place on the exclusive platform in those 3 markets and allow buyers to have first crack at purchasing the property at a discount.
Now, do you really think this is like a big thing? Because Zillow's had like the for sale by owner. You could list your house on Zillow or make me move, right?
Yep.
Like, so,
That's been
and
around
you
forever.
can upload photos into Zillow and put your house on the market yourself. So why is this any different than what Zillow's doing?
It's not.
I don't think
It's just a different form. It's repackaged.
Yeah, I feel like it's repackaged. I feel like it's. Is Zillow crushing it on their Make Me Move?
No, and those of us, again, me, I'm an old school kind of bare knuckle prospector, right? I used to hit Zillow Make Me Moves all the time. That's a great lead source.
Yes, it is. It probably still is
Yeah,
a
heck
great
yeah,
lead
it
source.
is.
Get them a cash offer.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll see what Eric Wu does with this marketplace. I'm really interested to watch it evolve. But I don't know.
I think that Open Door also has the capital markets, and so they work with the funds, and so that's a massive buyer, and maybe they've paused for now at the moment or slowed down for now at the moment, but when they reemerge, which they will, we all know they will.
Of course.
Would they buy 30% of all homes in 2021?
Exactly. And in markets like here, like Dallas, like Houston, like Austin, the percentages were much higher. I know in Phoenix it was 49%. Offhand, I don't recall what it was in those markets where Open Door Exclusives is, but my guess is Open Door Exclusives expands to all of the very prominent, single family, the Sun Belt states, single family rental states where investors are buying.
Hey, it doesn't surprise me they're doing it. It makes sense. Think about it. It's just another avenue for them to get eyeballs into the platform and give a reason for somebody to go to Open Door. Be like, oh, well, maybe I can find something exclusive. And then what happens? Then they might get more business from that consumer. So it's just another way to get them into the Open Door system.
I agree. The ecosystem it's growing. And one of the things I talk about a lot on my coaching calls is how I do research like every Sunday night in preparation for my coaching calls. And I always look at the Google Trends because I'm just fascinated by what people are Googling when it comes to selling their home, buying a home. And one of the things that I've uncovered is Open Door is constantly a breakout search term.
Wow.
So people are searching that out. Also, I did some research on, customer experience, and customers are flocking towards businesses that have a convenient experience. And there's all of this data around convenience and how it's a driver of not only like being willing to pay more, but referring that company more, using that company again, and convenience reigns supreme. And so if you look at what Open Door is doing, they're building this ecosystem that's easy, it's convenient. 3 of the core principles for convenience are self-service. So it gives the seller and buyer a way to do it on their own. I think the difference is with Zillow, you still have that kind of friction of, I want to go see this house. How do I get in contact with this seller? You have to reach out to the seller. It's awkward. I mean, with Open Door, you can literally go see homes on your own on the weekend by yourself without
Get
an
into it
agent.
by yourself.
I mean,
But
that's cool.
those are owned by Open Door. Do you think they're gonna open that up to the exclusive?
Yes.
I don't
So
see
be like,
why
here,
not.
here's a
Yeah.
camera, here's
Yep.
a doorknob. We'll put it on your house.
Well,
and
you saw
can
Lennar do it,
sell
right?
your own
Yep.
home.
I think they will.
it was just that same type of ideology. I mean, we made that prediction, a couple of years ago, that there's going to be some type of facial recognition, or it'll be app recognition that you
But
can
don't you
register
think
the
they're
property.
gonna-
You
they're
walk
gonna
up to it, the
make
door
them-
unlocks.
Don't you think they're going to make them pay for it? Open Door's not going to pay for all that technology to put on a FSBO's house.
I could see it being developed by an MLS or a board somewhere else, and there's some type of startup, right, where now it's a subscription fee.
No, what I'm saying, if a consumer wants to put their house on the Open Door market,
Oh, I follow you. I'm
Is
sorry.
there
And
a fee?
and is there going to be a fee? And if they're going to like open it up to buyers to be able to go into those houses as well, then those consumers that are living in their house are going to have some sort of technology that will allow them to show their house. So who will pay for it? Is it
Guess we'll find
I'd say
out.
we're
That's-
gonna pay
that's
for it.
good. Well, I mean, hey, what problem are you solving, right? It sounds like there's a market opportunity right there.
I mean, there's the technology is already there,
Sure.
but it costs money.
Yeah.
So is Open Door going to allow them to just use their technology and, hey, I want a camera, I want a doorknob with the.
Not saying
Well-
that that's what's happening.
But
Yeah, I'm not saying it's happening either.
sometimes
but
it's about
that's what Open Door's houses are, right? They
Yeah.
have the combination. They're able to go to the house without any agent.
well, let's look at. I mean,
How is the exclusive market going to do that?
let's scale it back to like the normal agent based on what you just said, Jay. Right? That's why listings are so important. I mean, there's a lot of agents out there that they'll do listings at 1% or no percent because of the eyeballs that listing can attract, and the unit economics that will kick in off of that. So if there's other ways that they're going to monetize off of that, then that's key. I mean, it reminds me just what Keith was saying just a second ago, where it's all about the eyeballs, right? Or one of the craziest new forms of currency is attention, right? When you can control eyeballs and all of those things, which especially the media platforms, whatever else, and they're driving traffic by 50 million, 100 million people that are going to be visiting that. Well, there's a ton of currency there in that.
Yeah, and if you just think about it too from a generational perspective, that's where we've been headed there for a while, but
Oh,
my generation and the generation below me, the whole process of the baby boomers and above, the way that they operated in life and the way that they transact, we're talking about literally 2 different worlds at
Absolutely.
one time. So
massive shift.
it makes sense to me that they're going to do that, right? And that's what everyone's going to look for, especially another 10 years from now. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the way that real estate's done today, from a traditional perspective, very different.
I agree.
Order up your home sale, or order up your home purchase through a click of a button it's 1,000% coming, right? Just these hike in inflation,
It's here.
or hike in interest rates, and the shift, right? There's so many of the agents out there that be like, oh, these institutional buyers are going to die, or oh, it's going to go back to the way it always was, right? I'm not saying that there's not going to be pieces and trails of that, but the toothpaste is out of the bottle, and you can't get it back in. Like you just said, consumers today are, again, another form of
They want
currency
convenience.
is certainty and convenience, right? And when you can supply that, that's absolutely a form of currency to today's consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the bigger the ecosystem gets, the less expensive it becomes to have certainty, to
Great
have
point.
convenience. So that's going to be really interesting to kind of follow. Yeah, so the shakeup at Open Door, I think, as we can all agree, is really indicative probably of the board and probably of the $920 million loss in Q3. I also think that the spin was brilliant. I'm always fascinated by Open Door's PR.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's so good. I mean,
Masters of spin.
they are so good. It's
So
awesome.
good.
Hey, kudos to them for being able to blow $920 billion and still being around today.
Million?
Yeah.
Or
I
million.
bet
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I bet
not
you by
billion.
the end of next
Yeah.
year they recoup that.
Yeah, so Carrie Wheeler is now the CEO.
Okay.
Yes.
She was the former CFO,
CFO,
and
yeah.
she comes
Yes.
from the capital markets,
So
apparently.
So I heard they spun it a little bit by saying like, hey, this means that they're going to be now looking to be profitable, right? They're putting a CFO into the CEO
Chair.
CEO chair, and that means that they're going to be looking for profitability now.
Oh, we know they will. We know we can see where their offers are coming in now. There's
Yeah.
profit. Hell yeah, they're going to be profitable.
What's
Keith
wild?
is passionate about
That's why I said they're going to recoup that by the end
We're
of
gonna
next year.
the women are in charge
And
now.
and-
Now we're going for profitability, right?
Yeah, even if their offer request acceptance rate is less, what is going to get accepted is going to recoup that, and it's just a numbers game, right? So
Well, they have consumer mind share now, like you said, with them being on the Google Trend searches and whatever else. People are searching them out. They're still looking for that certain convenient, easy click button cash offer, right? And people, again, when you can control the timelines, and there's so many people that are accepting these cash offers because they're going to make money on the acquisition of their next sale, right? They'll take a haircut on this to win on the next purchase. And I think that's honestly overlooked. I think that's more prevalent than most people think when they analyze this.
Yeah, so definitely interesting news got us all talking. I know we were all like, oh,
Whoa.
what?
I was so shocked by that.
Eric Wu is just such a visionary in this
Yes.
space. And
Yeah, but a lot of the I was the Data Door podcast, and they were talking about how maybe Eric Wu wasn't like the real crazy CEO that's out on the circuit talking about certain things, but he was more of like a in-depth, like in the weeds type of
practitioner.
So they were saying, hey, this is probably a good thing for the Carrie Wheeler's going to come out there and start to really get out and talk about their mission more. So
I think it's pretty cool that they
Time will tell.
put a female at the helm of that. Very rare in real estate technology to see a female in the C-suite, especially at the top spot. So I was
She's
excited
gonna crush
about that. Yeah,
I do. I think she's going to crush it.
I've listened to her on the earnings calls, and very bright, very intelligent. So I'm excited to see how that progresses.
yeah, she's on a lot of different boards. She's on the board at Dollar Tree
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't know that.
and J. Crew.
Really?
And
J.
J.
Crew,
Crew.
how
is
funny.
Where
this
she was.
the start of the rise of the women CEOs in the real estate industry?
Yes.
It's coming.
I hope so.
It's coming.
Hey, I'm totally fine with it. It's the best person for the job. Makes sense.
So what do we got? I mean, I know as we kind of wind down here, what do we got for the listeners, right? Again, let's if we can, maybe let's all share around like the mindset. What now? It's beginning of December, business planning, execution, implementation plans, all those things start to happen. Where, hey, what's my forecast for 2023? What's my first quarter, right? What kind of advice can we share with these guys to go out and get their unfair share of the market?
Well, I ended that with my coaching call this morning, and really what it comes down to is it's easy to go, it's toward the end of the year, ready to relax. I got that holiday mindset and have a good time. I'll pick it back up next year and get that crap, throw it out. It is go time now, as Elliot mentioned, because what you start now, you're going to start seeing the fruits of those labor in 60 to 90 days.
Yep.
So if you want a strong first quarter of 2023, you need to be having more real estate conversations than you're planning on having in January. So your January, February, March starts getting booked.
Yeah, I would say just get excited about all the doom and gloom out there, because that means that agents are going to get out of the business. They're going to be depressed. They're going to relax over the holidays.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything.
Have
They're
that
gonna
extra bourbon.
boo-hoo, So, be a doer, not a booer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, hey, regardless of what's out there, remember, there's always an equal and opposite to everything. So if there's doom and gloom, guess what? That means there's a hell of a lot of opportunity all at the same time.
that's right.
It's a
Yeah.
mindset.
That's solid, Kate. What do you got, Kayla?
I think inspect what you expect. If you have a little bit of time right now, use this extra time to really inspect your business, see how you're operating, see what your system and process looks like, and really take that time to just upgrade your business.
Awesome. I love it. What I got is this. What is your big domino goal, right? So what's that one goal that you have that's going to directly impact all of your other goals? Then peel that back to your one-day goal. How does that one-day goal line up with your big goal, right? You are the visionary. You are the executioner, right? And it's all about implementation in your business. And if you can implement that strategy, just peeling it back sometimes down to the one day, win the day, win the day, win the day.
That's the Darren Hardy compound effect.
That's right, baby.
It's your moment-to-moment choices that ends up getting gargantuan results. And it's sometimes not fun, it's mundane, and it's not sexy.
Eat your
But
frogs.
like Elliot said, every single day, all of a sudden compounds into, holy cow, I've been doing this for 90 days. Look at my results.
In the book, doesn't he say something like this? Incremental moves may create monumental results.
Yeah,
Sure,
he-
I'm sure
I
he
don't
said
know if
that
I
and
spun
all
that
kinds
or
of other
I'm
little
sure I
things.
hacked that
no,
from somewhere.
that's in a book.
Okay.
I think it might be the compound effect. Great book. I love that book and 100% agree. And sometimes we overcomplicate something that's really quite simple. Keith said it best. Go out there, have real estate conversations, increase the amount of real estate conversations, and beautiful things will happen. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the iBuyer Experiment. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Peace.
Be more